Cutting straight across to the national capital, to the Kartavya Path, where the Prime Minister is currently there in the culmination of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. You've got these images coming in now of the massive crowds that have gathered, nearly 50,000 people who are there for the Meri Maathi Mera Desh campaign. Just moments ago, you had the Prime Minister also rendering an oath to youngsters who've now taken a part of an initiative called Mera Yuva Bharat or My Bharat. But the highlight perhaps of all of the celebrations that you're seeing today is the Meri Maathi Mera Desh. What does that mean? What we're seeing is in fact a massive pot that's been kept at Kartavya Path, and there you have those images on the right of your screens filled with the mitti, the mud, from the residences of fallen soldiers. And Prime Minister Modi earlier today, to also highlight the significance of that moment, also brought about and put an earthen pot full of mud into that particular area. Was seen also taking some mitti in his hand, putting it on his forehead in a very, very symbolic move about how much really he respects and hails all of our soldiers who fought so bravely and put their life down for the nation. Now, on the left of your screens are the live images right now. The Prime Minister has officially inaugurated the Mera Yuva Bharat initiative, which is in fact to focus on youngsters of the country, even rendering an oath to all of them.
भारत का संकल्प हमारे युवाओं को देने के लिए और इस पोर्टल के शुभारंभ के लिए दिव्य सज्जनों, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव के दौरान देश में जन भागीदारी की एक नई सोच, एक नई संस्कृति को हमने आकार लेते देखा है। साथ ही भारत सरकार के विभिन्न मंत्रालयों और विभागों तथा सभी राज्यों और केंद्र शासित क्षेत्रों ने भी इस महोत्सव में बढ़ चढ़कर हिस्सा लिया है। इनमें से दो वर्गों यानी केंद्रीय मंत्रालय और विभाग तथा राज्य और केंद्र शासित क्षेत्र, इनमें से प्रत्येक वर्ग में सर्वश्रेष्ठ प्रदर्शन करने के लिए पहले 3 स्थानों के लिए यहां आज अकम पुरस्कार प्रदान किए जाएंगे। इन अकम अवार्ड्स के लिए उच्च स्तर पर गठित एक समिति, जिसने अलग अलग मानदंडों के आधार पर अकम अवार्ड्स के विजेताओं को चुना है। पुरस्कारों की शुरुआत हम राज्य और केंद्र शासित क्षेत्र के वर्ग से कर रहे हैं।
So as we beam for you these live images, just moments away from the Prime Minister speaking, I have Gaurav Sawant with me as well. Gaurav, a huge significant moment. There's an Amrit Kal memorial that we're talking about, Mera Yuva Bharat, which has just been launched. But perhaps the biggest highlight is Meri Maathi Mera Desh. What a beautiful tribute really to our fallen soldiers.
It indeed is. In fact, it's an effort to bring the past, present and future and tie them in one bond. That's the Prime Minister's effort. And unite our country in one bond from Ladakh to Lakshadweep and from Arunachal Pradesh to Gujarat. And that is why you have soil from every village, every block, every state coming together in that big Amrit Kalash, and that would be then used for this Amrit Vatika. You're again, it's an environment thing. India is pretty big on environment. You're planting more trees and lakhs of trees, all saplings that have come from different parts of our country and right next to the National War Memorial. So you remember your fallen heroes from the armed forces. You remember your fallen heroes who've made the supreme sacrifice of their lives in counter-terror operations, and also our freedom fighters. You know some of them. The effort is that you know all of them from different parts of our country, because it was one nation that united to fight, centuries of servitude and combating to become a free nation once again.
And you look at this kind of an initiative, the effort that's gone on, has been going on for months, where you've had people, family members essentially of these fallen soldiers, and it's a beautiful way to really signify to them as well how much we as a nation appreciate their sacrifice. And they've brought these pots of mud all the way from their hometowns via trains, flights, buses, made it down here to the national capital, and they're right now there. They've emptied their pots, brought that mitti to the national capital. Tell us, Gaurav, now what's going to happen next? Because we've seen those images, as you called it, of the Amrit Kalash kept there at Kartavya Path. Is that going to remain there now for eternity for people to come and pay their tribute?
So, all this soil from the length and breadth of our country, it comes together and there will be an Amrit Vatika. It's like a garden. A garden right next to the National War Memorial, where trees from across the country, saplings will be planted from across the country, and people can visit that. People should get inspired. because what's the road ahead? You've covered 75 years of, of our journey. 1947 is when we became independent. This is 2023. You've already celebrated 77 years of freedom. But how do you make India a developed country by 2047? That's the dream. So the next 25 years, extremely crucial. That is why the pledge that everyone saw. The Prime Minister said, Panch Pran. From the ramparts of the Red Fort, he spoke of 5 pledges that we need to take as a nation. Every individual, especially the youth, because they are the engine, the youth are the growth engine of our country in the next 25 years. And the Prime Minister's dream is that it's not just, taking India forward. India will actually take the world forward, becoming the 3rd largest economy by 2027 or 29, and then being amongst the top 3 economies of the world. So we aspire to be the growth engine of the world.
So what you saw and what Gaurav is referring to when he says the pledge and oath was just moments ago when you had the Prime Minister essentially rendering this oath to youngsters. Out of the 50,000 people who are there, many of them are youngsters who have been brought together there to be a part of this event. You're seeing on your screens right now the inauguration of the Amrit Vatika that you were referring to just now, Gaurav. This is going to be right next to the National War Memorial. And let's talk also about those pictures that we saw earlier of the Prime Minister very symbolically putting the Desh Ki Mitti on his forehead. What an important moment and message that is for the entire country, for our fallen soldiers, for their families.
When we reconnect with our roots, this soil of our nation has a major impact on our psyche. I'll give you 2 small examples. Haldi Ghati, the land where Maharana Pratap fought the forces of Akbar. Haldi Ghati, the soil of Haldi Ghati, inspires warriors from across the length and breadth of our country, because this was a very small army of Maharana Pratap fighting a massive army of Akbar, and yet when you read history, which again is being looked at in a different view, was Akbar able to achieve his aim? And if not, is it victory for Akbar or is it actually victory for Maharana Pratap? So the mitti of Haldi Ghati, major impact. The mitti of Jallianwala Bagh, 1990 was when Brigadier General Dyer ordered the massacre at Jallianwala Bagh. Sardar Udham Singh, he picked up that soil from Jallianwala Bagh and he took a pledge that he will neutralize the man who ordered the massacre of people at Jallianwala Bagh. So what did he do? He kept that soil of Jallianwala Bagh with him for 21 long years. It was finally in 1940 that he was able to eliminate Dyer. So, that is how...
That's the origin of what we're seeing today.
That's right. So that is how this soil inspires. So the Prime Minister put it on his forehead. We used to do that as children. You'd remember when we were playing kabaddi or when playing anything, you pick up that mud, put it on your forehead, and then you take a pledge. So that mitti of your country is something that gives you life, and even after death, it's in a way, as some say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So that mitti is your life soul in our country. The Prime Minister is doing that to bind the country in one bond.